Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today, we're embarking on a journey to uncover the secrets behind effective studying. No, we're not talking about some magical potion or a time turner, though that would be awesome. We're diving into the study techniques that Harvard students use to excel in their academics. You might be thinking, I don't go to Harvard. These tips won't work for me. But hold on, these techniques aren't exclusive to Ivy Leaguers. They're based on solid learning principles that can benefit anyone, regardless of your academic background. Whether you're in high school, college, or just looking to up your learning game, these tips are for you. So grab your notebooks, sharpen your pencils, and let's unlock the secrets of effective studying together. All right, let's kick things off with our first technique, active recall. Now imagine this. You're sitting in an exam hall, staring at a question that seems vaguely familiar, but you can't quite recall the answer. Frustrating, right? That's where active recall comes in. Active recall is like flexing your brain muscles. Instead of passively rereading notes or highlighting endlessly, active recall forces your brain to actively retrieve information. It's like going to the mental gym and lifting those memory weights. So how do you actually do active recall? Well, it's simpler than you might think. After studying a topic, put away your notes and try to recall as much information as possible. You can do this by writing down everything you remember, teaching it to an imaginary audience, or a very patient pet, or using flashcards. The key here is to actively retrieve the information without looking at your notes. It might feel a bit uncomfortable at first, like you're drawing a blank, but that's a good sign. That struggle, my friends, is your brain forming stronger neural connections. Think of it like this. Each time you recall information, you're strengthening the pathway to that memory. It's like walking the same path in the woods over and over again. Eventually, that path becomes a clear and easy-to-follow trail. Active recall is all about actively engaging with the material, forcing your brain to work a little harder, and ultimately, making those memories stick. Trust me, your future self will thank you when you're acing those exams. Now you might be wondering, how often should I do active recall? Well, the more, the merrier. Aim to incorporate active recall into your study routine regularly. After each study session, take some time to actively recall what you've learned. And hey, don't be afraid to get creative with it. You can try different active recall methods and see what works best for you. The important thing is to find a way to actively engage with the material and challenge your brain. So, ditch the passive highlighting and embrace the power of active recall. Your brain will thank you for it. Remember, consistency is key. Make active recall a regular part of your study sessions. Plan your study sessions in advance and stick to your schedule. Share these techniques with your friends and study groups. It can be more effective when done together. With regular practice, you'll find that recalling information becomes easier and more natural. And soon enough, you'll be celebrating your success and feeling proud of your achievements. Okay, let's move on to our second technique, spaced repetition. Now, we've all been there, right? You cram for an exam, feeling like you're on top of the world, only to forget everything the next day. It's like our brains have a built-in delete button for information we don't use regularly. But fear not, my friends, because spaced repetition is here to save the day. This technique is all about outsmarting your forgetful brain by strategically reviewing information at increasing intervals. Think of it like this. Imagine you're learning a new language. If you try to cram all the vocabulary words in one go, you're likely to forget most of it quickly. But if you space out your learning, reviewing the words at increasing intervals, you'll retain the information much better. So, how do you actually implement spaced repetition? Well, there are a few different methods, but one popular technique is using flashcards. You can create flashcards with the information you need to learn and review them at specific intervals. For example, you might review a flashcard after 15 minutes, then again after an hour, then the next day, then a few days later, and so on. The key is to space out the reviews, gradually increasing the time between each review session. Now you might be thinking, whoa, that sounds like a lot of work. And yes, it does require some planning and organization, but trust me, the payoff is worth it. Spaced repetition helps to cement information into your long-term memory, making it much more likely that you'll remember it in the long run. And hey, there are even apps out there that can help you with spaced repetition. Apps like Anki and Quizlet use algorithms to schedule your review sessions, making it super easy to implement this technique. So ditch the cramming and embrace the power of spaced repetition. Your brain will thank you for it. and you'll be amazed at how much information you can retain. Plus, you can share this technique with your friends and study groups, making your study sessions more effective and enjoyable. Whether it's for language learning, history, science, or any other subject, spaced repetition can be a game changer. So, next time you're preparing for an exam, remember to use spaced repetition. It might just be the key to unlocking your full potential. All right, let's move on to our third technique, the Feynman technique. This technique is named after the renowned physicist Richard Feynman, who was known for his incredible ability to explain complex concepts in a simple and understandable way. Feynman was not just a brilliant scientist, but also an exceptional teacher who believed that if you can't explain something in simple terms, you don't understand it well enough. The Feynman technique is based on the idea that the best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else. This method encourages you to simplify and clarify your thoughts, making the learning process more effective. When you teach something, you're forced to break down the information into smaller, more digestible chunks. This process helps you to understand the material more deeply and to identify any gaps in your knowledge. You have to think about it from a different perspective and find ways to explain it clearly and concisely. This shift in perspective is crucial for mastering complex topics and for developing a more comprehensive understanding. So, how do you actually use the Feynman technique? Well, it's pretty straightforward. The steps are simple but highly effective. First, choose a concept that you want to learn or need to review. It could be anything from a scientific theory to a historical event or even a new language. Then, imagine that you're explaining that concept to someone who knows nothing about it. This could be a friend, a family member, or even an imaginary audience. You can do this by talking out loud, writing it down, or even teaching it to an imaginary audience. Again, your pet might be a good candidate here. The act of verbalizing or writing helps to solidify your understanding. The key is to explain it in your own words, as if you were teaching it to someone else. Avoid using jargon or complex terminology. Instead, aim for simplicity and clarity. As you're explaining, pay attention to any areas where you get stuck or where your explanation feels unclear. These moments are indicators of where you need to focus your learning efforts. These are the areas where you need to focus your learning. Go back to your notes, do some more research, or ask for clarification until you feel confident in your understanding. Go back to your notes, do some more research, or ask for clarification until you feel confident in your understanding. This iterative process helps to reinforce your knowledge and to fill in any gaps. The Feynman technique is a powerful tool for identifying gaps in your knowledge and for solidifying your understanding of complex topics. It encourages active engagement and critical thinking. It forces you to actively engage with the material and to think critically about what you're learning. This active engagement is key to long-term retention and mastery. And hey, it's also a great way to improve your communication skills. Being able to explain complex concepts in a clear and concise way is a valuable skill in any field. Being able to explain complex concepts in a clear and concise way is a valuable skill in any field. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who loves learning, this technique can be incredibly beneficial. So, channel your inner Richard Feynman and embrace the power of learning by teaching. You'll be amazed at how much deeper your understanding becomes and how much more confident you feel in your knowledge. You'll be amazed at how much deeper your understanding becomes. The Feynman technique not only helps you learn, but also makes the process enjoyable and rewarding. Okay, let's move on to our final technique, the Pomodoro technique. Now, this technique isn't directly related to learning itself, but it's an incredibly effective tool for boosting your productivity and staying focused, which are essential for effective studying. The Pomodoro technique is a time management method that breaks down work into intervals, traditionally 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. These intervals are called pomodoros, named after the Italian word for tomato, as the technique's creator, Francesco Cirillo, originally used a tomato-shaped kitchen timer. So, how do you actually use the Pomodoro technique? Well, it's pretty simple. First, choose a task that you want to work on. Then, set a timer for 25 minutes and work on that task without distractions until the timer goes off. Once the timer goes off, take a short break of 5 minutes. Get up, stretch, grab a drink, or do something else not work-related. After 4 pomodoros, take a longer break of 15 to 20 minutes. The Pomodoro technique is effective because it helps to break down large tasks into more manageable chunks, making them feel less daunting. The short breaks also help to prevent burnout and keep you feeling refreshed and focused. Now you might be thinking, what, 25 minutes? That's not very long. And you're right, it's not. But that's the beauty of it. The Pomodoro technique is all about working with time, not against it. By breaking down your work into smaller intervals, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed or procrastinate. And you might be surprised at how much you can accomplish in those focused 25-minute bursts. So, ditch the distractions and embrace the power of the Pomodoro technique. You'll be amazed at how much more productive you can be, one tomato at a time. Thanks for watching. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more study tips and academic advice. See you in the next video. Remember, these techniques are just tools. The key is to find what works best for you and to be consistent with your studying. So go out there, embrace the challenge of learning, and make those Harvard students proud.